Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. On this episode, we're probably going to get into a couple of things. The first one's going to be what I picked up the day before Jacktown, and that's what I'm sitting here with around me right now. You just heard me tapping on. And then the second portion will probably be what we got at Jacktown, but Jacktown is tomorrow morning. So I'm not 100% sure. That may end up being its own episode. We'll find out together, right? So I want to give you guys a look at what I picked up the Friday before, and also what I picked up when I was in Durham, North Carolina this week for work. So got some really cool stuff, so let's get at it. Okay, so let's kick off the shenanigans with this stuff. I stopped at a yard sale today, and the guy at the yard sale had some boxes with tools. He had a bucket of 50-cent screwdrivers. So I picked up this one. Which is an SK nut driver. And let's see, where's it at? This Craftsman screwdriver. You can see that's the pointy A. I grabbed this spinner. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. And it's an SK Wayne, if you can see it. And then I started looking at other boxes. He had 4 small black plastic tool boxes. And as I cracked them each open, they had drill bits, just drill bits piled in on top of each other. Screwdriver bits, drill bits, these square bits. He had them marked at a decent price, but I made him an offer on the lot. You know, things like this. We went back and forth a couple times. And we settled on a fair price. A ton of Craftsman Professional over there. Craftsman over here. And these Craftsman mini saws. All this stuff is Sears era. They are all made in China. But they are the Illinois address. So they're all Sears based. I picked up 3 of these plier racks. And he was $1. Initially, he was $1 a piece on everything. Like I said, I made him a really good deal. So we came to an agreement, and I came home with all of them. And you guys are probably saying, Burnout, why the hell do you need so many drill bits? Well, my wife and I are opening a flea market space. We'll have more information on that coming soon, but this is going to be great inventory. There's all kinds of different sizes, and none of these are like single size. You know, with these bits, we've got small bits. We've got my hand. We've got longer bits. We've got the 25 square inserts. These saws, it was 2 cases of 6. 1 was missing. So there's 11 saws. There's a few hundred bits here. So this will be inventory for our upcoming flea market space. It'll be in an indoor flea market. We're setting up a really cool booth that's going to have jewelry and tools. And when we get a little bit closer to setting it up next week, I will probably give you guys a video tour and let you know all about it. But this is going to be some awesome inventory for that. So that's a big chunk of what I picked up today, but not everything. So let me get all this stuff off the table. There's actually one piece that I picked up in Durham under here. Let me get all this stuff off the table, and I'll show you some more. So this is what I picked up in Durham. was at a Habitat for Humanity Restore. What I thought was cool about it, as you can see up here, is the 1977 and later logo, but the crown is still on the staples, and it's the Sears Craftsman on the stapler. When we open it up, you can see it's the Sears Craftsman. Yeah, it had $5 on it. And it still has one of the Crown logo staple boxes in it. And one that's newer. So for $5, I didn't think I did too bad. And like I said before, I always like to kind of help out the Salvation Army, or, Habitat for Humanity Restore. I like their mission. I don't have one of these staplers in the case. I think I have one that's just a loose stapler. So this would be kind of cool in that industrial box. So that's what I picked up when I was in Durham. Now let me get the rest of what I picked up today. So next up, we stopped at a yard sale that I saw on Marketplace. When we got there, it's actually one of the other vendors from the flea market we're going to be moving into. He told me he had some tools before. So I went through the first couple boxes. He had a shed full of tools. He's going to pull a lot of them out, and he'll let me come back and go through them. But some of the things I picked up, I got this 16-ounce Vaughan, made in USA. This thing looks brand new. And Vaughan is one of the hammers I like to have. I like to use Vaughan. We got these pretty old channel lock oil filter pliers. Another pair of crusty channel locks. Kind of beat up in there, but you know, channel locks are channel locks, right? Picked up this Stanley 100 plus screwdriver because for some reason I'm taking a liking to those things. Not trying to collect them, but I do like them. Here I grabbed this Craftsman 24 ounce. I've got this series, but I don't remember if I had the 24 ounce or not. So I plucked it out too. And we just made a lot deal on it, on all of it. Got this Husky USA 3/4. Picked up this Craftsman V. It's the 44975. I forget what they call that ratchet head. But it does have the eject on the socket. And it does still work. Looks to be in pretty decent shape. I've got one that the body's actually probably in a little better shape. That's the one with the patent numbers. So I may end up switching these internals. Not sure. This one is a 1 1/16 Armalloy. It's pretty crusty, but I couldn't just leave it sit there. You got a Craftsman 3/8 drive H extension, made in USA. Picked up this Craftsman G, and that's a 17 millimeter 12 point. Grab this 3/4 drive 1 5/16 Craftsman, and it's a G as well, 12 point. Picked up this 3/4 drive. Let's see, I can read a size on it. Yep. 1 7/8 SK. Grab this guy. So 1/4 and 7/16, the older style. And Can't remember if it had a name on it. I don't think it does. Maybe after I clean it up, there will be something right there. It looks like, yeah, there's the Billings Triangle B. So it's a Billings. But it was a nice little S wrench, so no turning that down. Got this 3/8 Challenger by Proto. Grab this SK USA. Looking to see if it was a Wayne or anything, but just SK. Extension, 1/2-inch drive. This one is forged in USA. Electrolyte. And it is an Allied, I think, or whoever it was that owned them before SK. I think it was Allied, if I remember right. First thing I saw was this green box. And the green boxes get me every time. I cracked it open. It's 5 of a 4, let's see, 5, 6, 7. So it's missing 2. I will go through my other sockets and see if I've got the ones that's missing. Looks like we have a 9/16. And I'm not going to pluck it out of there because it's got that little tab. But it still has the cardboard and everything inside. So I thought that was definitely cool. I may have sockets to fill that in with. If not, I'll be looking for them. Grab some Craftsman wrenches, of course. It's a 3/4 VV, 12 point. Fairly common, but always good to have. Got an 11/16. And the ever missing 10mm. I found one. Grab these pointy A Craftsman double line pump pliers. They're a little crusty, but I think they'll clean up pretty well. And then I grabbed, as I was digging through, the majority of Craftsman wrenches I found were these double opens. So this is a full SAE set. We go from the 7/8 by 3/4. And these are all VV as well. And they all feel new. The edges feel, they're still kind of sharp. We've got the 13/16 and 11/16. The 3/4 and 5/8. The 9/16 and a half. The 7/16 and 3/8. And the 1/4 5/16. And then there were also metrics. So we got the 19 and 17. The 18 and 14, which I think I'm missing, or 18 and 16, which I think I'm missing. The 15 and 13. The 14 and 12. And we're missing the 11 and 10. And then we have the 9 and 7, and also don't have the 8 and 6. So I'm missing 2 of the metrics, but have all the SAEs. And I got these for a good deal. Like I say, another vendor that I get along with really well. So a lot of this will be going into my collection. I know, like, I don't have the channel lock oil filter pliers. I don't have the newer Vaughn hammer. There's some of these metrics I don't have. The ratchet will be sticking around with me. The SK will stick with me. So a lot of this, though, will be going into our booth once I get all that set up. So that is my pre-Jacktown, what I picked up on Friday and during the week. Let's see what I get at Jacktown. This may be its own episode, or we'll jump right into what I picked up at Jacktown. We'll find out together. Okay, so we're back from Jacktown. Again, not sure if this is going to be its own episode or a piece of what you saw from the day before. Once I start working it, we'll know. So we're going to start off. I tried to behave. I did pretty good. Everything I spent today, everything I bought today totaled $72. I couldn't tell you what I paid for most of these things. One item, got a ratchet right here. I can tell you I paid for it. The rest, I'm not really sure. I just make good deals all the time. So we're going to start off with some miscellaneous pieces, and we got some Williams stuff here and here. We'll get into it. So first up is this 3/4 Allen USA. I've got the majority of an Allen set. I forget what sizes I'm missing. There's only one or two, but 3/4 I thought was one of them. But I'll see. If not, it'll just be for sale on its own. Next, I picked up this 3/8 drive Eastco breaker bar. Do not have one of those. I've got the Eastco set. So that'll get dropped in with the Eastco stuff. Next is this Modern something company. And it's a perfect handle style monkey wrench, probably an 8-inch. It moves really well. And when you close it up, it's pretty straight. So I picked that up. This one is a master quality set of pliers. This was in a 2 for $1 bin. And I really like that handle detail. So I picked it up. They're 3-position adjustable. And then we got this big boy. I could not read the name on it until I got it cleaned up. But it's a Lowell wrench, number 24. It does. Let's see if I can get on it. It does turn. It also has screws to come apart. So I think this one will be a fun one to do. And the guy I got it from actually said it was going in the dumpster if nobody bought it this weekend. So he gave it to me for $2. Couldn't pass that up for $2, right? He said he was tired of looking at Big Beast around. Nobody knew what it was. And when I showed him it was ratcheting, he's like, I didn't even know that. So we'll get into some Williams wrenches. This is a double box, 7/8 and 3/4. Someone painted it, but honestly, there's no pitting or anything. So I think that'll all come off and clean up nicely. In that same painted pile, I picked up this 1 1/16 and 7/8. Unfortunately, that was the only two the guy had. He sold me these, I think I ended up paying 75 cents a piece for the wrenches I got from the guy. We've got this 8-inch Williams adjustable. It's the super adjustable, of course. And it's kind of stuck. It'll move a little bit. So it'll be a good clean up, take it apart, get it all oiled candidate. Picked up this 1170 super wrench, which is a 1-inch. Did not have that for my set. This is a really hard to see, but it's the more rounded body Williams super wrench, so the earlier one. And it's a 15/16 and 7/8 double box. I always like those. I'll jump into this one next. So this one's a black oxide super wrench. It's the 1173, which is the 1 1/4. Another size I did not have, although most of mine in my Williams set are the silver. I'll take a black oxide. And then finally, the old oval logo Diamond W Brooklyn engineer's wrench. It is a 110, which looks like it's a 1-inch. It's the number 110. That was another one with these, and this one, and this one. And the guy gave them to me for 75 cents a wrench. And then finally, for those of you who have been watching and seeing my super wrench set, when it comes to the up to 7/8, the only thing I was missing was a 1/2 inch. And I found this in a 2 for $1 bin. So 50 cents. Not bad. So got to complete that up to 7/8. Then I've got the 1 inch now. So I may need to get a 15/16 to go between. I'll have to check and see if I had a 15/16 or not. So that's all the Williams wrenches. And these came from a guy who had a $1 bin. And I pulled all the Williams 3/8 drive sockets out. That's all he had. Didn't have quarter, didn't have half. So we've got this extension. We've got the B108 smaller extension. We've got the BP2, number 2 Phillips. And this one's the BP4. So it's the number 4 Phillips. Neither of those Phillips looks like they've ever been used. We picked up, where's that? A 13/16 deep. An 11/16 deep. So no 3/4. A 9/16 deep. So no 5/8. It's not the Craftsman turn yet, guys. You stay over there. Craftsman guys they're always impatient, you know. A 1/2 inch. And a 7/16. So I'll see if I have the ones to go in there. I do have a little bit of Williams 3/8 drive, but not a lot. Picked up the 1/2 inch 8-point. The 7/16 8-point. And the 9/16 8-point. And then for shallows, we got the 1 inch, 15/16. I mean, look at these. None of these look like they've even been used. 7/8, so like 14/16. 13/16. 3/4. There was no 11/16, but there was a 5/8. A 19/32. A 9/16. A 17/32. You don't see those very often. A 1/2 inch. And then we skip all the way down to a 1/4 inch. So no 3/8, no 7/16, no 5/16. So there's a few pieces missing here to make this a full set. A few missing there to make that a full set. The guy had this, like I said, in a bin for $1 a piece. I pulled all these out and offered him $10. There were 2 other wrenches, so I ended up paying $12. So basically that was $10 for all these sockets and then $2, $1 a piece for the other 2 wrenches. So not bad. I think that was a good haul for $10 in Williams sockets. And those are going to my collection. Like I say, I don't have a lot of Williams 3/8. I've got a ton of 1/2 inch, but not a lot of 3/8. So let me get this stuff cleared off of here, and we will move on to some Proto and SK. So this is the Proto and SK stuff I picked up. I'll start right up here at the top. This big boy is a 1.5 Proto. It's the one with the chevrons, but it's not the professional. And we got this 1 7/16. It is not the chevrons, but it is a professional. We got an 11/16 professional, a 7/16 professional with the chevrons, a 24mm professional, and a 13mm professional. In the Proto family, these were in a 2 for $1 bin. So this is a 5428-S, and it's a plumb 7/8, half-inch drive. And this looks like the 5419 maybe? 542, I don't know, I can't see it. But it is the 13/16 plumb. So I got those for 50 cents a piece. Wouldn't complain about that. I got the older style high polish SK, 1 inch, just alloy forged in USA SK. I got a really nice shape, a little bit of chipping up there in the chrome, but not too bad. 9/16 SK Wayne. A lot of the SK Wayne stuff I find is the chrome is pretty torn up. And then I got a number 2232477 SK Wayne 3/8 drive ratchet. Actually, I didn't turn this the other way. Yep. Works really good in both directions. I think just needs cleaned up, lubricated, and that one will be in good shape. So that's the Proto and SK. I'll get this put away real quick and we'll move on to the Craftsman. So now we'll take a look at all the Craftsman stuff that I picked up. I got this F-wrench. It is a pointy A, but a single line V. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's in a really nice shape. A little cleaning, it'll be in great shape. Picked up this 8-inch adjustable, and it is the Circle Y. And this one I did test back and forth. It's nice and smooth. Bought this from an older gentleman that said his wife was making him sell all his tools before he died. I picked up this 14mm, 12mm double open, and it's the Craftsman panel without the lines. I just kind of collect those because I like them. So it was kind of rough, but it was in a 2 for $1 bin. So it's a 15/16 and 1 inch double box, and it is a pre-flying V, so no V. Where this one is a 15/16 by 1 inch flying V. And I got this 9/16 and 5/8 double box, and it's a V. Picked up this ratcheting. I don't generally like this style of ratcheting, but it was one that I got with the Williams sockets, so I figured I'd grab this too. It's the 5/16 and quarter. You usually don't see them this small in the ratcheting. And I got this super crusty socket, but I couldn't leave it behind. I think it was in another 2 for $1 bin, if I remember right. This one, you can kind of see the underline C, not real well. You can see the 7, can't really see the 8, but it's a 7/8. And this is the other one that came out of that same bin. It's a 5/8 Craftsman underline C. And it's a BE. And then I got this for $2. I didn't have one of these ratchets. And it's the USA patent pending VU. And it's a 44995, 3/8 drive. So kind of the end of the Made in USA Craftsman tools. Works really well. So couldn't pass that up for $2. Couple more things to show you, and we'll be through. So the coolest part of Jacktown was getting to meet some fellow YouTubers. And a couple of them gave me some gifts. I got to shake a lot of hands, meet a lot of people that I watch on a weekly basis, daily basis for some of them. So all this stuff right here, the keychain, that's awesome. The little wrench holder, business card holder. The poker chip. And the stickers, which will be in the barn here as soon as I get done filming. All came from Bigfoot, from Bigfoot's cave. Awesome getting to meet him in person. We chat back and forth quite a bit. So James, definitely fun getting to meet you, man. And I really appreciate all the gifts. I appreciate all the wisdom and everything you've given me. And then the other thing I got, I was just totally floored by this one. This is a Circle U, which is, if you don't know, that's a Plum-produced Craftsman ratchet. Switch is in really nice shape, especially if I turn it all the way. Turns really well. It does like most of them. Has that weird catch spot. But I got this from George at You Wanna Watch. George is probably the guy who got me started in doing the YouTube videos for tools. If you go back in my history, there's a lot of hot rod work on the 46 Ford pickup. Then I started looking at tool stuff, and I was actually looking just at some Craftsman information, and I ran into a video that George had put out. And I'm like, man, that would be cool to do. And whatever, it's been 6 months now, here we are. And George, thank you. You've been an inspiration to a lot of us in the tool community, man, and we really appreciate it. So when it comes to the favorite things from this weekend, you're looking at them right here. Not because they're anything special, but because they're from guys who've done a lot to inspire me. Okay, so it's Sunday after Jacktown, and I had to do one more stop. I stopped at my local flea market, the Blue Ridge Flea Market, and I picked up some stuff. A few adjustables. Again, it's a sickness, picking up adjustables. That's all I'm gonna say. So we'll start at this end. We got a 12-inch super adjustable. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Needs a good cleaning, but that's it. We've got a 10-inch diamond. It's in good shape. This one's probably the crunchiest. It is forged alloy steel, and it is a 5386 Industro Super USA. So I don't have that. I don't have an Industro in the 10-inch. I also don't have an Isco, let alone an Isco KD, in a 10-inch. This one needs clean, but it comes together really nice. And then fights you wanting to come back apart. But it is a screw type. We'll get it apart, get that all cleaned up. And I picked up this Craftsman. It's got some surface rust. It is the Circle Y with the offset hole. It moves really nice. And I picked up another Craftsman, 8-inch, and it's a Circle Y with the offset hole. This hole looks like it's got a little bit of deformation there, but that's okay. And then finally, an 8-inch Proto, 708. And then it moves buttery smooth. Picked up these 2 pair of Craftsman pump pliers. So these are 45382. And these are 453, looks like a 6.2. Maybe an 8 is just stamped bad. No, that looks like a 6. They look like identical pliers. If we line the hinges up, everything about them looks identical. But a couple pair of Craftsman pump pliers, I'm not going to complain. And I picked up this double box 3/4 7/8. That's a VV. Good looking double boxes. I usually make sure I pick them up if they're cheap. This one's the 11/16 by 13/16, and it's a VA, both 12 points. And then this really nice 3/4 7/8. And I gave it away over here the first time. There's no V in there. So that's the early, like 46 to 48 or whatever it was. Get over here into some of the wrenches. This I needed for my professional set. That is a 3/8 Proto Professional. This is a Proto 3/4. The size was purposely ground off of here and here, but it is a 3039. And this whole end just looks cut wrong, but it looks like it was machined like in the factory, not like someone went and just widened it. So I'm not sure what the story is behind this one, but I just thought it was kind of cool. Probably one that was missized, so they opened it up. Maybe sold it as a second in the factory or something. Next up, I got this 1/2-inch 7/16 Williams double box super wrench. And then this 1-inch and 7/8 double open super wrench. I finally walked past a booth, I think I had this for a couple dollars. It may be missing a 3/8 socket. I may have one of those, I'm gonna have to double check. But it is actually a Duro marked Duro kit. So I thought that was cool. And it does have the appropriate adapter in it still. A lot of these, you see I usually don't see the ratchet that's marked Duro. And I don't think I've seen one before with the adapter in it. So I thought that was a cool set for a couple dollars. You know me, I pick up Duro Industro for some oddball reason. So that was the pickup from the local flea market. So as you saw, I put all 3 of those pickups together. It's a little bit longer, but not too bad timing wise. I didn't get into an hour or anything. I have to see what it pans out with this section. But that was the entirety of the Jacktown weekend. So picking up some stuff beforehand at some yard sales, going to Jacktown on Saturday, and hitting up the Blue Ridge Flea Market on Sunday. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. My favorite thing, again, was getting to meet all the YouTubers that are the voices in my office while I'm working. I'll usually have them up on a separate monitor, listening to what they're doing, looking over every once in a while. just to kind of cut the monotony of the day-to-day job. I work from home at a desk. I build specialized websites essentially for people in a certain software. So it helps break that up. I don't get cross-eyed as much. But it was cool to actually see the voices, coming out of mouths and not out of my speakers. I'm looking forward to next year, getting to see everybody. There's a few people that said they were going to be here that I didn't see. I must have missed them if they were here. So hopefully I'll see them. Get to meet up with them at some point. But it was an awesome weekend. Let me know what your guys' favorite tool was that I picked up. And as always, I'm Burnout. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.